games.
Because it really just it gets you to start dreaming a bit and just thinking about things that maybe if money didn't matter so much, what could we actually do? And maybe even putting those into action.
Yeah. Hello and welcome to a Purpose-Driven Marriage podcast. We are Duane and Nadine Stewart, and we love any and all things marriage. You've tuned into the right place if you're looking for actionable, practical tips to help you overcome real-life obstacles common to real relationships. We're here to help you strive for a marriage as God has designed it and not as the world has defined it. Because why settle for a good marriage when you can have a great one? Hello and welcome on this week before Valentine's Day, week of Valentine's Day.
It is. Are you excited about Valentine's Day?
Yeah. I mean, you know, I've never really been a big Valentine's Day person.
Me neither.
Well, that's because our anniversary
is like a month afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So because of that, I mean, our anniversary really has been, to me, the most important.
Yes.
But, you know, we do celebrate Valentine's Day.
Ever since I don't know if this is real or not, but found out that Valentine's Day was manufactured by the card companies.
Why do you say that with such aggression?
It's just another way for them to, you know,
that's not true.
Make roses way more expensive.
That is
chocolates,
not true.
Like everybody goes to restaurants and it's super crowded. We can't even go out to eat without having to wait like an hour and a half.
Oh my gosh, you're such an anti-romantic person right now. No,
that's probably true.
No, we're not big Valentine's Day people, but I think a lot of it is in the idea that every day should be Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Really, that's the bottom line. And that's something
for sure.
We started that from day one, right? Remember, our Valentine's Day was actually our very first holiday or special
day that we celebrated together.
Like a relationship event.
That was in college.
That was in college because our official first day, so the anniversary of our first kiss was January 19th.
Right.
And Valentine's Day came like
a month after.
Yeah, a month after that. And I remember you walking all the way across campus carrying balloons.
I don't even remember this, so you tell me. I can't.
Yeah, you were carrying balloons, and you had this little stuffed animal. There was a little bear carrying a small balloon on a stick.
Yeah,
and then you had chocolates, and your dorm was as far as you can get to the house I was living in.
Yeah, because you were in the
sorority.
Yeah,
I was in the sorority, and so you walked all the way across
that's
campus.
Not close. That was not close.
No, it was not.
I'm gonna call that like at least a mile and a half.
Yeah, it was pretty far, but I remember how embarrassed you were because you're this big football player, right? Like you're trying to play it off like you're some hard jock.
Yeah.
Right. And yet you're walking across campus carrying balloons, a little teddy bear carrying a balloon, some chocolates.
Because I was thinking about my baby.
And 3 weeks in, and then you get to my sorority, and of course, you're greeted by all the girls. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so cute. Oh, let me get Nadine. You know, that was so embarrassing for you, but that was such a beautiful gesture.
Yes. Well, I thank you. I guess. But let's talk about today. Let's talk about next week.
So now I feel like we need to explain that we are not anti-Valentine's Day.
We're not. I was just
you were
talking.
Yes, we just celebrate Valentine's Day every day, or we try to create as many Valentine's Day moments as we can. And our anniversary follows Valentine's Day so closely. And so we put a bigger emphasis on that. But for the sake of this show, we are sharing 7 creative ideas that people can do for Valentine's Day. Whether they choose to do it this weekend or maybe
whenever.
Yeah, whenever.
Right?
Exactly.
I think that's really important because I feel like there's so much pressure put on, especially the younger guys. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? Like, I keep thinking about these high school kids when they invite their date or homecoming or their prom, and then they have to have this big giant sign out there, and they're like, will you be my whatever? Like, be my Valentine, or come to me to homecoming. There's just so many things out there that people feel like there's a lot of pressure. And so it doesn't really have to be that difficult, I don't think. No. You know what I mean? Just make it simple. Don't have to spend a lot of money either, but just make sure that it comes from the heart.
Yes.
and it doesn't have to fall on any one specific day.
No.
Have the freedom to do it every day, every weekend, whenever you're feeling up to it. But so we are going to share with you guys some creative ideas. Some will cost money, others will cost nothing, right? It's just the thought and the effort that you put into it. And so we'll get started. Let's talk about these creative ideas, babe.
Okay.
So the first one.
I like the one, because I think we talked about this a little bit, but going down memory lane. We are cleaning out a room in our house right now.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, we're opening what the older folk would say is these album books, right?
Photo albums.
Photo albums. And, there's photos of our wedding, and there's photos of us when we were younger in college, and there's photos of when we were like just starting to have kids. So our first kid and
the baby showers
and all that stuff.
Yep.
And it's just nice. It makes you feel warm inside to see all those things that we used to do because as we were younger. And it's just fun to reminisce.
Well, I can tell you I've gotten absolutely nothing done today. All I've been doing is going through boxes of pictures and saying, oh my gosh, do you remember when? And we've got pictures of my bachelorette party.
Yeah. I didn't see that.
Yeah, our bridal shower, our baby showers, like all these things. Yep. I'm seeing pictures from our wedding that other people took. I don't think I've ever seen them.
Yeah.
And so it's just so nice to be able to go through that. So the first creative idea is planning a date where you're going down memory lane. And so what does this look like? If you still live in the area that you guys were living in when you guys started dating or when you first got married, or if you can go there easily, right? Going back there and checking out the places that you guys used to go to. If there was a restaurant, for us, it was Hunan Garden.
Hunan.
A restaurant that we used to go to on a Friday night.
No matter what you get, all the chicken looks exactly the same. The Hunan chicken, the
General
sesame
Tso's
chicken, the General Tso's chicken, the sweet and sour chicken.
It's all the same
It
chicken.
all look the same. They taste different. But
go to the restaurant that you used to go to, just places that have significance in your relationship, whatever that is. And then, see if you can uncover those boxes of pictures or memorabilia that maybe you haven't looked in years, and just walk down memory lane together.
And
right?
talk about stories that you remember, something funny, whatever it would be. It's just fun to go down that path because it makes you smile.
It's nostalgic.
Yeah. And nostalgia, it brings connection.
It does.
It
absolutely does. That's something I would really enjoy doing.
Yeah.
So what's the next creative idea?
So I think, and we did this when we went on vacation one time, but I think cooking a meal together it would be really fun. And maybe even going to a place where you learn a new dish, right? So it could be learning how to do like some kind of Chinese dumplings or something, or just some other dish that you haven't done before as a couple, and just kind of learning that. I've done that for team building before, and that was actually a lot of fun. We've done that, I guess I just told you, for when we went to Italy.
Yep, when we went to Italy.
That was actually a lot of fun. I really feel like that would be a cool way to spend the time because you are bonding with each other. You're learning something new that you can take home, and it just creates like a fun activity that you can do for Valentine's Day.
So when you mentioned this to me earlier, you seemed so excited about it. So I'm like, let's mention that. But if I'm being honest, the whole idea of cooking together at home does not sound fun to me.
It doesn't have to be at home. You could do it anywhere, right?
Yes.
I mean, because there's a lot of places that teach you how to do.
So what I was going to say is the whole idea of us cooking together at home did not sound appealing to me.
Because you cook every day?
Every single day. And adding you into the mix isn't going to make me feel sexy. It's just, I'm like, oh gosh, I'm doubling the amount of dishes that need to get washed.
It's like when we go to Korean barbecue.
Yeah, and then you make me do the cooking.
Then you cook.
And so
I didn't realize that the first time. I was like, that'd be fun, just throwing it on the skillet and cooking it. And then all of a sudden you're like, well, shoot, I mean, if we're going to go somewhere, I'm not going to pay so that I can cook again.
Yes. But when we went where were we? Florence in Italy. And we took that cooking class.
Yeah.
and learned how to make pasta from scratch. Now that was fun.
Yeah.
And there were other people there. And so that made it even more fun, even more entertaining, because we were meeting people from different parts of the world and they were going through the same experiences. And so that right there, I would do anytime as a date. If we were to go someplace, whether we're on vacation or here at home, and we found a cooking class that we could do together, and they're doing all the cleaning afterwards.
Yeah, which is true.
Yeah, because I think that's the part
they do all the prep.
They do all the prep. They do all the cleaning. We literally just show up and then we cook it and we eat. And so that I would love to do together.
Yeah. All right.
So that would be a great second idea. So, and I want to say you're welcome to anyone else that was probably feeling the same thing I was when you said, oh, let's cook together. Well, you know what? For being the person that's been cooking every meal for 31 years, that's the last thing I want to do.
Yeah,
but
I understand.
I will go and learn to cook something if someone else does all the prepping and the cleaning up.
Yeah.
So what is the next one?
The next one?
Yes.
The next one is a Valentine's Day scavenger hunt.
I love this idea.
Yeah.
So what this is a scavenger hunt where you can leave little notes, gifts, or experiences for each other. And it could end up leading to something romantic at the end or a surprise gift at the end, but it's intended to keep things exciting throughout the day.
Yeah.
Now, I got to experience this firsthand many years ago.
She reminded me, I was like, I don't even remember doing that. Okay.
It's been
maybe
long.
I need to do that again.
It's been so long and has been one of my most favorite memories, and it's been decades.
Yeah.
So my wonderful husband here has no recollection in it.
Now everybody's like, dang, Duane. Decades. My goodness, that's a long time.
We've been together over 3 decades.
Yeah.
So when I say decades, it's been a while.
Yeah.
But I remember one morning waking up and I started seeing Post-it notes that weren't there the day before. I walked into the bathroom and I saw another Post-it note there. I went into the laundry room, everywhere, all over the house where I would normally go. There was a Post-it note with a little message written on it. And what Duane did was he wrote out all the reasons that he loves me. And he just put it all over the house. That was probably the most amazing and thoughtful gift that Duane had given me. I'm all about the thought that you put into gift giving. Like, that's my love language really at this point in my life, is the acts of service. At the time, it was words of affirmation. So the two really went hand in hand because he acted this out, but it was affirming words that he put on these little Post-it notes. And so if you guys have never done that in your relationship, I highly recommend it.
Or if you haven't done it in decades, maybe it's a time to get
He's not
to
gonna
go with
let
part
me
2.
hear the end of that.
Yeah.
No, but it was just so sweet. And, to incorporate like little gifts in there, that would just be so fun.
Yeah.
And then end it with a nice dinner
Yeah.
or maybe a bigger surprise.
I like that.
Yep.
That's
You
good.
like that? Okay. So what's the next one?
Next one is love letters. So writing a love note or a love letter to each other. What do you think about that?
You know I love it when you
I'm
write
not super
things to me.
sentimental that way.
Well, so Duane says that, and he will tell you that all day long. But I can tell you, since I was going through boxes of things that we haven't looked at in years today, I found cards that he had given me and cards that I'd given him. And I can tell you, between the two of us, no one will believe this, but Duane is an amazing writer when it comes to writing out his feelings. He hates to do it, but when he actually sits down and does it, like back in the day, before email, before text messages,
we would
before
write
cell
letters to
phones,
each other.
That's how we used to communicate.
Especially during the summertime, because we were typically not together in the beginning.
Yeah, when we were dating.
Yeah, when we were dating.
And the phone calls were 10 cents a minute. And we were poor, struggling college students. So 10 cents a minute.
Hey, that's a minute max.
A lot
That's
of
$1.
money. That was a lot of money for us. And so we would write letters. And his letters to me were so beautiful. I mean, they're so amazing. If you're asking me what I thought about love letters, oh gosh, all day long. If you had to write out, I don't know, like how you appreciate me or what you love about me, dreams that you have with me, and then maybe even read them out loud to each other. I was going to say a lot of ladies would like this, but I know a lot of men that would love it just as much and would appreciate it just as much.
You know, all joking aside, I do feel like it's definitely a way to reflect on your feelings. It would be me reflecting on my feelings towards you. And because you ask the question and I'll give you a compliment or whatever. And you say, why? And I'm like, okay, well, let's think about that a little bit. But it is a way when you put things on paper, you're stating your feelings and you're able to read that back and you say, oh, okay. Yeah, it actually like cements those feelings in your mind and in your heart. So it really helps you to embody those feelings throughout the time that you're writing it, but also it lasts for quite a while.
It does. And you know, with my clients, honey, I have a lot of male clients, husbands who say that they just struggle to say what is in their mind the right thing. And when they're trying to express their feelings verbally, it doesn't come out in the same way that they were actually feeling it. And so what I have them do is I have them write a letter. Just write it out. And it actually, they're able to convey their true feelings in the most authentic way. And their wife really appreciates it. And so whether you enjoy having to do this or not. It's actually a great exercise, and it's fulfilling for both. It really is.
It actually would be kind of cool to write something down, and then even for a future date, like you can write it down and say, okay, and on our 25th or on our 30th or our whatever anniversary, open up just to state your feelings, and it'll be a fun activity to do. I think.
This next one, idea number 5, incorporates a few things into one. So it's overall planning a tech-free day, right? So putting your devices away, you're not watching TV, you're not on your computer, you're not doing anything that requires the use of technology. But what you're doing in place of that is you are fully focusing on each other and you are engaging in conversation with each other, but we actually have ideas for how to spend that day and have it encourage the conversation. And that idea is, you know, in the form of different games. Right.
This is fun.
I love this one. So if you're planning a tech-free day and you're trying to encourage conversation with each other, how do you do that other than just simply sitting there and asking each other questions? Right. So we could just sit there and ask each other questions. That's fine. Right. But you could do that any day. But playing something like a Would You Rather couples edition. Right. Like, would you rather buy a brand new car or go on a trip to any destination?
Vacation.
Exactly. Any destination of our choosing. Right. And so those types of questions, I love those types of games.
Because it really just starts to, it gets you to start dreaming a bit and just thinking about things that maybe if money didn't matter so much, what could we actually do? And maybe even putting those into action. And this could be one of those things that you can do maybe over dessert. Right? So you go out to dinner, you decide to do dessert either at home in the bedroom, like do a little picnic on the floor in your bedroom, maybe have a beverage of your choosing and, you know, something good to munch on to end your meal with. And then you play this game. And then this part, if there's kids listening right now, you may want to have them move away for a little bit because this part's going to get a little bit. For it, babe.
What's the word? What's an appropriate word? It's going to get a little bit sexy, but hey, this is for married couples. And so there's no limits here. But the next game I was thinking about is almost like a variation of like a strip poker kind of game.
Poker. Or could be poker,
but it's not necessarily with playing cards, but more so like maybe you guys each write out 5 to 10 questions on cards, and then you shuffle them, and then you pick up a card, you read it out loud, and the first person to fully answer it gets to request the other person remove an item of clothing. Right? And so maybe this is a good date night activity, like maybe check into a hotel.
You would have to be in a private place.
Yes.
Not at the restaurant, but maybe in a hotel room or something like that.
Why in the world would we be at the restaurant?
I don't know.
Yes, but this could be one of our little staycations.
Sometimes you have to create boundaries and rules just to make sure.
So you ask the questions, right? And it could be questions that create connection and intimacy. Like you were talking about dreaming together. Like one of the questions could be, you know, what's a dream you have for our future that we haven't talked about yet?
Yeah, I was actually thinking about, in addition to that one, going back to the sexy time. What are some of the things that we can do to like spice things up? Like, you know, you take inventory on your intimacy time together,
Yes.
and you say, okay, like what are we doing well? What are we not doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like what do you want that
Is
we're
this
not
a
doing?
review?
Yeah,
Like a
this is-
performance review?
Yes, you know, meets expectations below.
No, exceeds expectations.
Exceeds expectations. And start trying to incorporate certain things that might like spice it up a little bit. you know?
Yeah. Well, if you ask the right question, right? Like,
Yeah.
what are some things that you would like to incorporate into our intimacy time, our intimate time?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's definitely a hotel kind of
Yeah.
conversation to have. Some other questions that you can incorporate. What's something small that I do that makes you feel loved? That's a good one.
Yeah.
Right. So, not anything extravagant. Or if we could take a spontaneous trip right now, where would we go and why?
Yeah. I'll go to some island where it's very warm. Probably the Virgin
Oh,
Islands.
you're sitting there in your flannel.
Yeah, because it's cold. It's snowing outside
Yeah.
right now.
Or even reminiscing.
Yeah.
Right. What was your favorite memory of us from last year?
Yeah.
From the last 5 years, from the last 10 years.
Get you to think a little bit. What do we
Yeah.
do? Right?
So those types of things. But I do like the sexy questions too,
Yeah.
though, because that leads to
I think those are
a
fun.
lot of good things.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I would do for the tech-free day. Incorporate games into that day where you guys are really promoting conversation and intimacy and getting to know each other
Yeah.
on a deeper level. And
Yeah.
with that one, if you can check into a hotel, right, so that you could follow through on some of those conversations,
Yeah.
hey, that would be
Go
great.
for it.
Or better yet,
Get-
leave the kids with grandma and grandpa. Rest
We
of
can
the-
leave ours at home because they're
Yes,
older.
our
but-
kids are older. So let's talk about the first 5 because we've got 2 more. The first one was,
Go down a memory lane.
yep, a
Just
date.
a memory date. Yep.
Then 2, cook a meal together,
Yeah.
or learn how to cook
Yeah.
something
Maybe
together.
a cooking class.
Cooking class.
So you
Yep.
don't have to prepare and clean up.
Number 3, a Valentine's Day scavenger hunt.
Yep.
4,
Or just writing love notes.
yep, love letters to each other. 5 is a tech-free day that
Yeah.
incorporates conversation and games.
Yeah.
Make it fun. And 6,
Spa day.
spa day.
Yeah.
I love the whole spa day.
I know you do. I mean, you can do it one or two ways. You can actually have like a full-fledged spa day where you guys go out and just enjoy getting massages and facials and manis and pedis and all that stuff together.
That would be my vote.
Yes. Or, which is great, I mean, because they
Yes.
do have those day spas where you literally just
Yes.
go and walk around. I think those are just for women. Actually.
Those are just for women. But I like that option, though. I know you're going to say the second, but I want to say why I like number 1 first, going to a spa. Because when we pay for an hour, we get an hour,
Yeah.
right? Versus what is option number 2?
Doing it yourself.
A DIY spa day at
doing
home.
it yourself. Get your oils and lotions
The candles,
and all that stuff. Get
Soothing
massages.
music.
I don't see nothing
Yep.
wong with that.
Yep, get some.
I don't see nothing wrong
Who
with
would
that.
we have playing on the music?
Oh, so like Luther Vandross.
Hey, you're aging us.
It doesn't matter. Like
So-
people
so
hear
some-
Luther, they understand.
So some slow jams.
Some kind of slow
Right,
jam.
playing some slow jam music, setting the mood with the candles.
The late. I got a whole playlist. I got a couple of them. Not just Luther, but it's a lot.
Yes, I would say if we're gonna do a
Mm-hmm.
DIY spa day, which I am all for, I'm totally fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to know how many minutes of a massage
You're
I'm
gonna
getting.
get at least half an hour.
Okay, at least half an hour. Okay.
I ain't no professional, but I'll give you a half.
Okay.
That's 30 minutes. That's good. That saves you about $50 right there, babe.
Oh gosh, you have
Mm-hmm.
not paid for a massage in a really long time. Then
Isn't it like $100?
I don't know. But okay, so
for an
that's
hour.
either a go and have a spa day somewhere or do a DIY spa
Yeah.
day for both of us. So I'd give you a massage too. Yeah, that would be a great way to spend
Yeah,
Valentine's
I
Day.
agree. And
Any other day.
the last one, I was actually a little hesitant on this because we've done this before, not for Valentine's Day, but getting dance lessons. That I was like, I don't know. Like we actually went and we did salsa and bachata lessons, and it was right before we went to Dominican Republic too. But that was actually a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that.
Oh, I loved taking those dance classes
Those are
with
fun.
Duane. If we could just do dance classes as our form of exercise, I am all for it.
Yeah.
Learning the salsa, learning the bachata, but I'd also like to take up ballroom dancing
Yeah.
with you. I just love the idea of you throwing me around, throwing me up in the air, catching me, hopefully. That'd be so great. But, there's an alternative to that.
Yeah.
There are all sorts of apps now that you can download and companies that sell these dance classes that you can do from beginner all the way to advanced. So you could do at home.
Yeah.
And so
I've not seen that.
that shows
familiar
up
with it
all
at
the
all.
time on my social media
see.
where, you learn how to dance together. So if this is something that you want to DIY, maybe you've got young kids at home and you can't really get away
Yeah.
to do dance classes, doing something like this where you're learning how to dance together, but you're doing it in the comfort of your
home.
own living room.
The one thing that some people may not be as comfortable with is when you do dance lessons, maybe there's 5 couples there and they just kind of rotate
Yeah, they do.
along. So the guys might stay in the same spot, but the ladies move around so that they
Yes.
can get a feel of like how everybody dances and they kind of make adjustments to different styles.
Yes.
Some people may or may not feel comfortable with that. So being at the house might be a little bit easier, but it was fine. It was fine for us.
I don't love it.
Yeah, it wasn't
but
the best, but-
that's what the instructors tell us to
Yeah.
do, so we do it. But
Because we're always the best dancers.
oh gosh. I think you and I dance well together.
do.
I think you and I dance well together.
get rhythm.
And so we do. We do. And I would rather dance with you than with anyone else.
Yeah.
Any
that's
day.
kind of the point.
Yes, it is. So those are our 7 ideas. So
Yeah.
we've got
Memory lane.
doing a memory lane date, taking a cooking class
Yeah.
or cooking a meal together,
Yeah.
Valentine's Day scavenger hunt, writing love letters to each other, planning a tech-free day where we incorporate games that really promote conversation with each other.
It's really about conversation and just togetherness.
Yes.
Just focusing on each other.
A spa day or a DIY spa day.
Yeah.
Taking a dance class together, or even, you know what? Doing a TikTok challenge.
Yeah.
Right? Just
A dance?
do it. Like, look up all those dances that they're challenging us to do.
Yeah.
Although
I'm not on TikTok, so I don't
no,
know.
well, neither. Well, actually, I am, but I don't spend much time on TikTok at all. But just looking up some of those dances
Yeah.
and seeing if
Ask
you can
my
do them.
kids.
Ask your kids.
Yeah.
Ask our kids.
Ask the girls.
Yeah,
'cause I know
those
my son
challenges,
is
though, I don't know. I
definitely
think
not
we
gonna
could
do
be
it.
prone to injury
Yeah,
with
I
some of
know.
those
Doing all
challenges.
those flips and things. Yeah.
Those are our 7 ideas, but we would encourage you guys to not only do this on Valentine's Day, but consider incorporating these creative ideas or other creative ideas just any day.
Yeah.
Right? Valentine's Day is awesome. It's amazing.
It's one day a year.
It's one day a year,
Yeah.
right? It forces us to stop and think about our relationships, to think about our spouse, but really it shouldn't be just one day a year. Valentine's Day should be something that we're celebrating every day,
Yeah.
right? As often as we can, because it is all about love.
Yep.
It's all about each other. So
It's all about having purpose,
Exactly.
right, within your marriage. That's why we were a purpose-driven marriage.
oh, you're so good. Look at that, babe. Always incorporating name.
Yeah.
The name and the
That's what it's all
purpose.
about.
Yes.
This
So
was good, though. I like it.
I like it too. And with that, I actually have no idea what we're doing for Valentine's Day, but this is getting us to think about
We'll
it.
figure it out. We
These-
want to hear how people are celebrating Valentine's Day or any day,
Any day.
anniversaries, anything special that you guys do together. It would be awesome to hear about it.
And again, if you have not had a chance to write us a review and you're enjoying this show, please write us a review so we can stay on and other people can find us. We would so appreciate it. Thank you guys so much, and happy Valentine's Day
next
to
time.
everyone. See you next time.